Friends, I am back as you can see, and I am exhausted. Okay? But I still have some fight in me, you know. Speaking of fight, it's been brought to my attention that there is something that I guess I kind of call, or maybe it's already called, doomer culture. Now, for people who don't know what a doomer is, it's basically people who have conceded to life and accept and have taken on a persona of hopelessness. You know, oh, we've lost all hope in the world. What's the use of even trying? Society is so fucked up. Although I think having that perspective at times can be very beneficial, and there have been a lot of famous doomers in the past, I am sure. For the most of us, it just does not work. It caps our potential, and it estrays us from who we can be and from the quality people that we could have in our lives. So without further ado, I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do to stop being a doomer. And when I look back at my life, I would have to say that I was one for a great deal of time. So I'm definitely going to speak on this one. So the first thing is just to take ownership, alright? No matter what you see in this fucked up society, what you can control is what you can control, and what you can control is what you can't control. So stop relinquishing your power to external forces. Alright? That's an easy thing to do. The hard thing to do is to take it on the chin and say, okay, you know what? I haven't been pushing myself the way I need to. I haven't been educating myself the way that I need to. I haven't been taking accountability the way that I need to. Okay? When you take extreme ownership, shout out to Jocko Willett, but when you take extreme ownership, you put the power back into your hands. You put the ball in your court. Okay? You say to yourself, you say to the people around you, okay, this one's on me. And I know that we can be victims of other people's doing. So it's very tough to say to a person who's been victimized by somebody else to say, hey, take accountability, man. You know, this is your life. Take accountability. But I am saying that. But not in the way where you blame yourself for something that somebody else did to you. But you take ownership. You take ownership when it comes to how you're going to respond to circumstances that you've been placed in. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean when I say you take accountability. You take ownership. That doesn't mean that people didn't do anything wrong. But at the same time, you can't expect the people who did wrong by you to save you. Okay? And why would you even want that in the first place? Even if that were a thing. And I mean, I guess in some cases it is. I mean, I would imagine in a lot of cases it is. But why would you want that to be the case? That is a scary version of dependency, or a scarier on the spectrum of dependency. You know. So you take ownership over your life. It's going to be disgusting at times. It's going to be daunting. It's going to be draining. You do it anyway, okay, my friends? It'll make a better you, okay? It'll give you a better outlook on life. It'll give you more to look forward to. You might gain some empathy that you can share with others, and others will be better for your experiences and for your for your outlook on life. I'm doing the same thing, my friends. I'm definitely not perfect, and I told you that I'm a retired doomer. So I still have some of these qualities where I have to blame somebody, or if I feel bad sometimes, I will, try to take it out on others and point the finger. It's becoming more and more of a rarity, but I have to speak on my imperfections. I have to acknowledge them so I can surpass them. Okay? So the next thing is to prove your theories wrong. Okay? So what do I mean by that? Is that if your outlook on life is that people are shitty or they're out for themselves, obviously if you believe that, of course you can find some people to back that up. But just the same, you can find people to defy that, to prove that wrong. Now, it's a matter of your expectations. Do you expect everyone to cater to you? Do you expect everyone to be just nice guys all the time or kind people all the time? It's an unrealistic expectation. People are going through things. Or if you feel like, for your own personal self, that you aren't attractive, how often did you try to be attractive? Sometimes attractive is just the way that you walk, man, the way that you carry yourself, and not let fear dictate things like that. So I like to tell people that to question everything, to challenge every affirmation, to challenge every theory, to challenge every circumstance that you may be placed in. So if you feel like you're doomed, challenge that. If you feel like you're weak, challenge that. If you feel like you're weak, by the way, because this is another thing that I like to do. I guess it's of the same tree. But if I feel weak, I'm gonna do things that make me feel strong. If I feel dumb, I'm gonna do things that make me feel smart. And none of those things have to be I feel weak, so let me go bully somebody who I think is weaker than me. No, that's not what I mean. Or I don't mean, since I feel so dumb, let me make other people feel dumb. That's not the way to go, okay? If I feel weak, I'm gonna do what I think strong people do, okay? Well, exercise, for example. I'm gonna lift some weights, and and just gotta make myself feel weak in a sense, because I'm beating up my body. I'm literally tearing up my muscles. But these are the practices of the strong, of the physically strong. And what are the practices of people that you may deem to be smart? It's quotations. They may read a book, okay? They may read nonfiction books. They may listen to some self-help audios or what have you. So whatever you deem to be smart in your mind, you go ahead and you take on those practices. Being smart doesn't necessarily mean you got a high vocabulary, but if that's what it means to you, you better download a dictionary app. I have a dictionary app too. They send you a word of the day, and it's just very reliable, man. It's weird to think, but god damn, there was a time where my dictionary was just in a book. Like it's just in a physical book. I feel so old just thinking about that. But now I got an app. What's that word? Put that in there, and they give you the definition. And then the definition is other words you don't understand. You click on that, you get the definition of that. What a life. So always test your theories, man. Kind of in a playful way. When I think about testing things in a playful but kind of ferocious way, it always reminds me of my favorite animal, the wolves. And one thing that I notice about wolves, they're not like this all the time, but sometimes if you watch them attack a prey, they kind of play with it a little bit. Just like, I'm gonna jump at it, take a little bite at it, boom, and you take a little bite, whoop, and you take a bite at it. You gotta have that approach, man. Just kind of a double Dutch type approach. I'm gonna jump in it. Just life leaves a lot of room to be upset. You know what I'm saying? And if you allow it can all crumble on you. But you gotta have a little playful spirit about you, man, and also be kind of stubborn in a sense where you like, I don't have to believe this, or this doesn't have to be true for long. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And it's definitely easier said than done, but when done, your life gets easier. I'm on fire. Okay, so the next thing is to take breaks from society. Okay, so if you spend enough time in society, you start to take on its poison, man. Most people are unhappy. Okay, I'm going to keep saying it. Okay? 85-90% of people are unhappy with what they do for a living. If you do that for at least 40 hours a week, my friends, you will be unhappy. It just goes without saying, man, because after that, what do you have? Okay, you got the amount of time you spend in the bathroom and the amount of time you feel, that you spend sleeping the work week off and the work day off, and you might have some kids, and you might be in a relationship, and all these other things, man. It really takes away from your time. And so after a while, or maybe from the start, you start to resent these circumstances that you're in. You start to feel like you're drowning in a sense. So it's very imperative that the time that you do the time that you do have to yourself, that you use that time to recalibrate in a sense. You spend time in nature, where you may not find a lot of people, and you just observe nature. And then you will start to understand that maybe this is the way that I'm supposed to be living. And it's funny because you can even do that within society, So, like, for example, and I always like to use this, and I always like to use it as a reminder to myself. It's like, a bird is not wondering about the opinions of other birds or the people around. A bird has to do what a bird has to do, okay? Birds gonna wake up, they gonna get out there for something in the morning, they gonna chirp, they gonna look for them worms, they gonna look for something to eat. They do what they have to do without the worry of, oh, I wonder if I'm gonna look weird or ugly to the person beside me. They do what they have to do. Now, for humans, it's a lot more complicated than that. But I think the more you focus on that, the more you open yourself up to live in a more natural way. It's not all that natural to just live, just live and let life dictate. Just to live in fear and let life dictate, or let fear dictate your life. Okay, it's not all that natural. Especially for that to be the recurring theme. You know what I'm saying? So I hope I'm making sense when I say this. So, yes, doomers, you do have a point, okay? A lot of people are fucked up. A lot of people are unhappy. A lot of people are doomed. But that doesn't have to be you, okay? You have to separate yourself from other doomers. Even if you live in the same house with them, you gotta get yourself involved with activities that's gonna keep you away from them as long as possible. And maybe you're influential over them. And if you are, then you can, through your journey, you have your testimonies, and other people will benefit from them as well. The people around you. Okay. So once again, just to recap. Take ownership over your life. This is your life. It might be fucked up right now. It may give you every reason to be a doomer. But you can make it better. You can. It's going to take some planning. It's going to take some long nights, possibly. Long days. It's going to, may take less sleep. It's going to take some sacrifice for sure. It may require you to shake up how life once was for you. But it can get better. And again, prove your theories wrong. You're going to have to try new things in order to do that. Because you can always prove a theory right if all you do is swim around your fishbowl. Do the same things over and over again. Cry into a bowl of ice cream. Make shitty decisions when you can make better ones. It's all in your hands, my friends. And finally, man, just take a break from society at times. I really enjoy going down to the waterfront, watching the ducks, just hearing the water crash against the rocks, just taking it all in, man. Especially now, because I don't know what the future may hold. Because I'm literally on a construction site right now, where my apartment is. It's on a construction site. And sometimes I just think, because I used to work in construction too, sometimes I sit and think like, man, it used to be all trees right here, I am sure. So whatever piece of nature you have right now, appreciate it right now. Speaking of that, man, just live in the moment, you know, and don't let the future mystery creep in, and don't let the shame of the past creep in as well. Speaking of shame of the past, I have a video of that coming out soon, and I'll be speaking on some things that I learned from E.T. Eric Thomas, and it really set off a light bulb in my mind. So, and a little bit about that, actually, I'll just say it. You don't have to be who you were yesterday, my friends. And with that closing statement, I am gone. So I hope this helps. If it doesn't, tell me what tell me, ask me some questions. Tell me what kind of video you want me to make. I do this with you all in mind. I just want you all to have a better outlook on life and have a better quality of life, because that's what I want for myself, so why can't I want that for others? Alright, take care, my people. Be compassionate.